Hello, welcome to From the South. I'm Laura Prada from the Telesur studios in Caracas, Venezuela. We begin with the news. Stay with us. And Brazil has closed embassies on 5 Caribbean islands. Brazil's foreign ministry has confirmed the closure of consulates in the islands of Antigua and Barbuda, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, St. Kitts and Nevis, and Dominica. The diplomatic representations were set up during Luis Ignacio Lula da Silva's presidency. And now Mexico and United States have failed to reach an agreement to guard off United States President Trump's proposed 5% tariff on Mexican goods. Mexico's Foreign Minister Marcelo Ebrard and United States Vice President Mike Pence held discussions this Wednesday to avert the threat by President Trump. However, according to reports citing a U.S. official, no deal has been reached. The tariff, which Trump claims are a punishment for Mexico's failure to stop the flow of Central American migrants into the United States, are due to come into force on Monday and could increase by a further 5% each month until they reach a 25% in October. Meanwhile, Mexico's foreign minister has said the issue on tariff was not discussed at the Wednesday meeting, but that the meeting focused on the measures that Mexico will take to address the challenges at the border.
Today, we don't discuss the tariffs, as a tariffs. The dialogue was focused on migration flows and what Mexico are doing or is proposing to the United States. Our concern about Central America situation right now. And so it's difficult to evaluate what the position of the Vice President or the Secretary of State is about the tariffs, because wasn't, in this occasion, the main issue.
And we continue talking about Mexico because, meanwhile, hundreds of Mexican and Chinese companies have gathered at the joint trade fair in the capital, Mexico City. The event takes place as the United States President threatens to impose tariffs on Mexican goods if the government does not halt the flow of Central American migrants. And U.S.-China trade war talks are in a deadlock.
I think the Trump factor doesn't bother the Chinese or the Mexicans in terms of their bilateral relationship, because Mexico is part of a treaty in the Pacific Basin.
Because the trade war between China and the U.S. would harm not only China but also U.S. and they would harm the whole world. And I think he is not doing the right things for the big picture, but only think about the Americans.
And the United States President Donald Trump arrived to Ireland for a visit state and was received with protests. Demonstrators gathered in Shannon holding banners denouncing Trump's policies and protesting against the U.S. President's visit to Ireland. Trump also endured massive protests during his recent visit to the United Kingdom.
I don't want him here. I don't like him. He's a bully. He's a windbag. You shouldn't give bullies and windbags power. It's the wrong thing to do. You should be cut down to size rather than rewarded with supreme power. It's just crazy.
I think to sum up, he probably stands for everything that I don't, and I couldn't really. Can't yet find anything that I agree with him on. I think he's a menace to the planet. He denies climate change, which is rampant and threatening the whole planet, and he's withdrawn from the Paris Agreement.
And in Nicaragua, hundreds, if not more, Sandinista families have paid homage to slain comrade Bismarck Martinez at the National Palace in Nicaragua. A forensic report confirmed his death this Wednesday, followed by an announcement by Vice President Rosario Murillo, who indicated that the remains of Martinez, who had already become a symbol of the Nicaraguan people, would be honored. The left-wing activist was last seen traveling to the city of Jinotepe. His whereabouts had been unknown for months. However, in September 2018, a video showing him being tortured circulated on social media. In 1977, at the age of 15 years old, Bismarck Martinez joined the Sandinista National Liberation Front to fight against the United States-backed regime of Anastasio Somoza. And now we invite you to take a deep breath, because this Wednesday the world thought about the clean air. On World Environment Day, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres made a call to the world to take action in favor of the climate and to change the habits that contaminate it. With these images of taking a big clean air, we come to a first break here from the South. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Telesur English and on my account, of course, at Laura Pitresuras. You are seeing it here.
为了保持身体健康，我冥想。
Para mantenerme saludable, yo corro.
To keep myself healthy, I study.
Για να διατηρηθώ υγιής, τρέφομαι σωστά.
Para mantenerme saludable, yo bailo.
Para mantenerme saludable, yo purifico mi espíritu a través del cuerpo. ¿Y tú?
Get your body. Tuesdays, only on Telesur. Our actions have an impact on the environment. It's our responsibility to change for the sake of our planet. Let's be part of this transition. Watch, preserve, and protect your Green Zone. Wednesdays, only on Telesur. A quest in the nature to find their roots.
Nosotros somos parte de un mismo mundo, somos parte de la Pachamama, ¿no?
Telesur Documentaries presents Radical Friends. Sunday, only on Telesur.
We are back with African news. Sudanese protesters have rejected the military's calls for talks as the death toll from repressive measures against them reaches 101 people and 40 bodies were pulled from the river Nile. Following international condemnation, Sudan's ruling military council offered unconditional talks with protest leaders after violently dispersed demonstrators on Monday, when it declared that agreements made with the opposition were void. An alliance of protesters and opposition groups said that the military could not be trusted. The spokesperson for the Sudanese Professionals Association, a body claiming a leading role in the protests, said that the demonstrations for civilian rule will continue.
There is a lot of injustice. People are trying to take their rights by force. It has become an issue of murder or be murdered. This is an image replicated in the National Committee. It has become a matter of agendas. Omar al-Bashir left, but now there's Lieutenant General Burhan and General Mohammed Dagalo. Burhan will leave. That's first on the agenda. Then we will have to see what's second and third. Where are they going? Where will it end? What about our children? We started from wanting to change the regime. Now the regime is falling completely. So the military council must either respond to our demands or leave.
And we continue talking about Sudan because Russia and China have held up a proposed statement on Sudan at the United Nations Security Council. Russia said that international bodies need to wait for a response from the African Union, while China rejected the proposals of Woden. The Russian Deputy Ambassador Dmitry Polansky said the proposed statement was unbalanced and emphasized the need for caution. He also highlighted Moscow's stance against external pressure on Sudan. The African Union is expected to make its statement on June 6. And now we go to Uganda, where at least 6 people have died after heavy rains triggered a series of landslides in the eastern district of Bududa on Wednesday. It is feared that the death toll could rise as people are still searching for their missing relatives. Local authorities estimate that hundreds have fled their homes and have taken shelter in churches, mosques, or with relatives. Over 100,000 people living in the area require urgent relocation. And in South Africa, an invasion by an engineer that secures and then dispenses pills to patients has won a major African engineering prize. Neo Utiri was announced as the winner of the 2019 Engineering Innovation Award from the Royal Academy of Engineering. Utiri's invention, the Pele Box, is a simple wall of lockers controlled by a digital system. It allows healthcare workers to stock these prescription pills, and then the Pele Box sends patients one-time personal identification number, which they enter into the user panel to get their medicine. This Pele Box keeps the medicine safe and reduces waiting time at clinics. And about the sports in Nigeria, the Emmanuel Queen's Women Football Academy hopes to raise the next generation of female football players. Academy owner Emmanuel Edet said there is enormous talent about young Nigerian girls who can go on to become the stars of the women's national football team. As such, he has called on government and corporate organizations to fund women's football academies in the country. However, Edet admits that he faces a challenge of convincing parents that football is not only to be played by boys.
That year, my dad did not allow me to play ball, so I forced myself. I was sneaking out of home, going to play ball without his notice. But unfortunately, when I got a scholarship, he allowed me fully to play football.
Time for a second and very short break. Stay tuned.